Hey YouTube, welcome back. Amazing Spider-Man number 34. We're going to jump in and get into this story. This has been a good little run by Zeb Wells. And we pick up with Janice and Randy. I usually call him Robbie, but that's his dad. Randy at the hospital. Janice is the daughter of Tombstone. And in some recent events, Tombstone was attacked at their wedding. The wedding never happened, and now their relationship has been a little bit rocky since then because of all of those things happening. And so, they are talking and trying to reconcile a little bit, but it's really not going well. And then there was an emergency with Tombstone, and we see that somebody had turned off his ventilator, and then we see Spider-Man swinging and cackling and laughing like the Green Goblin. Now, he has been infused with the sins of Norman Osborn, and so Spider-Man has not been himself. And again, this is, like I said, this is a Zeb Wells story, Patrick Gleason on art. And now we see Norman Osborn catch up with Mary Jane and Paul. He's fearful that Spider-Man is going to try to come after them and hurt them. And so he wants to warn them. And we see this, conversation, what's going on. And Norman explains to, MJ and Paul what has taken place over the last, couple issues here. And then we cut to Kraven, who is now buried alive by the hands of Spider-Man. He's in a coffin underground. He strikes a match, and he's really contemplating what is he going to do with himself. And then we cut back to Norman, and he basically, he has convinced MJ and Paul to get out of their apartment and go somewhere else, go hide. And then in swings Spider-Man. And so there's this conversation with Norman. Norman's trying to reason with him. And then we cut back to Kraven, who's contemplating, ending things for himself. He does have his hunting rifle. But, he's kind of this back and forth. He's in this bad situation. He doesn't know what to do. Does he take his own life? But he does feel that there's a little bit of a give in the coffin underground. And then, maybe there's an opportunity for him to escape. And then we cut back to Peter and Norman. And again, Norman's trying to reason with him and explain to him what's going on, that he doesn't need to do these things. And then Spider-Man basically says, look, he's looking for Paul. Maybe he'll drop him off a bridge. So he's looking to inflict some damage on Paul because of the, things with the relationship with Paul and MJ. And Norman's trying to, again, reason and stop him, and Norman just takes a beating from Spider-Man. We see, Spider-Man bloody hands. And again, he's, trying to deal with all of these thoughts and sins that are in his head now. And Norman just continues to try to reason with him after taking a really, really bad beating. And they cut back to Queen Goblin. And she's contemplating, man, I'm having trouble with that word today. She's kind of contemplating with what she should do. She had this meet up with Kraven, and they had a plan to return the sins to Norman Osborn, and it went sideways. And so, is Peter really deserving of these sins, or do they need to be returned to their rightful owner? And again, we cut to Kraven. Hand on the trigger, kind of thinking about, what he's going to do. But since he, kind of kicked the coffin and opened it up, we see some dirt filling in. And so, he may just suffocate alive from the dirt, from the earth pouring into the coffin. And we see MJ and Paul in the car, and then some explosions going on behind them. And we see this, morphed Spider-Man begin to pounce And then we cut back to the cemetery where Craven is, and we see the staff that he had, and it's kind of this back and forth between Spider-Man and the cemetery, and then ultimately see that the Queen Goblin has stepped in to try to stop Spider-Man, and that Norman has gone to help Craven. And so, in Queen Goblin even mentions it to Spider-Man that this is not his destiny. Like the sins that they took, that she was infused with for, some time, they need to be returned to their owner. And then even Norman here is telling, look, he helped Craven because he needs to make this right. And so that's where we leave off for this issue. So this is issue 34. Again, this has been, kudos to Zeb Wells. This has been a solid run. He took his lumps for some of the earlier story arc, and which really was not very good. But this little run he's put together here now over 3 or 4 issues is very solid in my mind. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a twist to take on the, the Last Hunt that we, one of the big Spider-Man storylines from the 80s, regarded as maybe the best Spider-Man storyline. So it's a little twist on that, but I really like the way this is going. The Craven, Queen Goblin, Norman, just all of the things that have been going on over this run kind of coming together in this 4 or 5 issues. So overall, very solid. I'm going to continue with 4 webheads. Very solid storyline, very fun reading, great artwork by Patrick Gleason. So again, let me know what you think of this if you're reading it. Do you agree with the assessment that Zeb Wells' writing here has improved compared to some of the earlier storylines in this run? So let me know what you think. We'll see you next issue. And again, thanks for watching.